So this is a continuation of a Paris climate deal. So Paris climate deal negotiated Paris agreement, which is an agreement that succeeds Kyoto Protocol, second commitment period of Kyoto Protocol after 2020, which binds the countries to limit the greenhouse gas emissions. So this is agreement within the framework of UNFCCC dealing with greenhouse gas emissions, mitigation, adaptation and finance starting in the year 2020. So an agreement on the language of the treaty was negotiated by representatives of 195 countries at 21st Conference of Parties of UNFCCC in Paris, which I have discussed in my previous video. Okay, so it was opened for signing on 22nd April 2016 on Earth Day. 177 UNFCCC members signed this treaty, and 15 of which have also already ratified that agreement. Okay, so it has not entered into force. So some of the facts before moving further about the global greenhouse gas emissions. Okay, so the world's top 10 emitters contributes about 70% of the emission altogether. Okay, so list is topped by China with 24% of the total contribution to the global warming and greenhouse gas emissions. So 24%, it is 1/4 of all the contributions. That is significant. After that, at distant second, US stands at 12% of the total contribution, European Union with 9%, and India on the 4th position at 6% of the greenhouse gas emission. World's greenhouse gas emission. After that, Brazil, Russia, Japan, Canada, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Indonesia follows. Those are the top 10 emitters, which accounts for more than 70% of the total greenhouse gas emission. So here, this shows the carbon dioxide emission in 1990 and 2012 of various countries. So if you observe the emission of China, okay, China emitted significantly less carbon dioxide in 1990s. So this darker bar represents 1990 and lighter bar represents 2012. So this has significantly increased by the year 2012. So it was close to 3 gigatons in 1990, and it has reached 10 gigatons in 2012. United States, on the other hand, has improved for better. Okay, so it has reduced, slightly increased. There is no perceptible increase in the carbon dioxide emission by United States. European Union changed for the better. Okay, here they have reduced the carbon dioxide emission when compared to the previous year. India has increased, but it is not up to the mark. We can have further leeway in the greenhouse gas emission to lift the people out of poverty. Russia also reduced the emission because of the Kyoto Protocol. These are legally binding for them. Japan, please have a look at that. And most importantly, the per capita emission, the emission of carbon dioxide per person per year, is highest, one of the highest in United Arab Emirates. Okay, there is lavish lifestyle in that country. India, on the other hand, is one of the lowest. Okay, it is here. It is one of the lowest, even lower than some of the poor countries. Okay, so we have further space to expand and grow in this event. So now let's look into the average projected temperature by year 2000. So if the countries do not act, if the countries do not take measures to reduce the greenhouse gas emission and global warming, then by the year 2000, the average temperature of the world will become 4.5% above the pre-industrial levels. That is significant. That leads to undesirable consequences, catastrophic consequences. So if we follow the current policies, it will resulting in 3.6% increase in above pre-industrial level, okay, by the year 2000. But if we control the greenhouse gas emission based on the Paris Pledge, which I am discussing right now, we can limit the greenhouse gas, we can limit the average temperature to 2.7% above the pre-industrial level. So that is a research finding. So this explains further. So 1 degree, it is the level of warming forecast to be surpassed this year. So we are at present 1 degree Celsius above pre-industrial level, average global temperature. Okay, so this 2.7 degrees Celsius will be reached by 2100 if the Paris climate change is implemented. If nothing is taken into account, that leads to 4 to 5 degrees Celsius increase in temperature, average temperature above pre-industrial levels. So this 2 degrees Celsius is the level above which the world is likely to experience most dangerous effects of climate change. That is the limit here. Okay, at present we are having at 1 degree Celsius. This 3.6 degrees Celsius forecast warming by 2000 on existing emission reduction policies. So this is important. You can represent this in your answers in the mains examination. That fetches you more marks than others. Okay, so the Paris Climate Deal. So this Paris Climate Deal is open for signature on the Earth Day. So this, after signature, if it's legally ratified by countries, it will come into force. So legal ratification, for some it will require nothing more than the assent of the political leader. For others, to those such as countries like India and Japan, will have to take the document to their parliaments. Some may need new laws also. So European Union is expected to lag behind on this issue because it has not yet agreed with 28 member countries on how the emission cut will be shared, because European Union is a group of 28 countries. So they have to share the responsibility and obligations of different countries. So each member state will have also to ratify the deal individually in European Union. So that makes the things worse. So for the operationalization of this Paris Agreement, it requires the signing and ratification by at least 55% of global greenhouse gas emitters and at least 55 countries. Both the conditions must be met. So at least 55 countries must sign the Paris Climate Deal. Along with that, 55% of the global greenhouse gas emitters must ratify that. So both the conditions must be met only when it will be operationalized. So if it is met before 2020, it will be operationalized before 2020 also. Okay, so once these conditions are fulfilled, agreement would come into force regardless of the number of countries that remain outside. But only those countries who join the agreement by ratifying it would be bound by its provisions. Okay, this shows examples how Paris Agreement could take into effect. So we need 55% of the global emissions. Along with that, 55 countries to ratify the agreement. So one way it can be achieved by taking the confidence of China, which is a significant contributor of 24% of the greenhouse gas emission, and United States of 18% or so, European Union, and Brazil, Mexico, South Africa, and any other 49 countries. Okay, any other 49 countries. So this is one way. And another way may be by taking China into confidence. After that, United States, India, the 4th largest emitter, Japan 5th, and Canada, Korea, Indonesia, Australia, Turkey, Argentina, and any of the 45 parties. Okay, that is the second possibility. The third possibility, if United States backs away, if United States do not agree to ratify the deal, we may have to include other countries as well, like European Union, Russia, India, Japan, Brazil, and all these group of countries. If United States and China do not agree to this deal. So that is a possibility. So only for information I have included this slide. So what is the deadline for ratification? So countries can ratify at any time after having signed the Paris Agreement. A small island state like Marshall Island, Barbados, Fiji, Tuvalu, and Mauritius, which are the most threatened by the impact of climate change, have already ratified that because they need that. Unlike the signing process, which is open only until April 21st, 2017, there is no specific deadline for ratification. So only condition is that 55 countries, minimum 55 countries, and at least 55% of the greenhouse gas emitters must ratify that. Okay, so this Paris Climate Deal will succeed Kyoto Protocol after 2020. Okay, thereby bringing the Paris Agreement into effect. So thanks for watching. I hope this helped you in your preparation. In the next video, let's discuss about the important points of the Paris Agreement. That is important from both prelims and mains examination perspective. Okay, thanks for watching. And if you have not downloaded the PPTs of environment and ecology, please click here to download that. So in prelims 2016, this material covered more than 90% of the questions. So that is more comprehensible, easy to understand. You can cover almost all the topics in a short span of time. You can watch the videos also. If you do not have the time, please revise the topic through these materials, and after that you can watch for the mains examination. Okay, thanks for watching.